Hello guys, welcome to our next topic, basic chemistry. Today we will be discussing about chemical safety. So this chemical safety is completely related to calculations. So if you need the concepts of chemical safety, you need to refer to chemical safety video. Okay. So in this chemical safety, we will discuss few terminologies that will be helpful to understand the coming problems that we are going to do on chemical safety. Okay. First thing is, see, for any chemicals that we are using, if you need to know its you know the type of chemical we are using or the kind of hazards that it poses, and what are the precautions we need to take, any sort of details or data you need to gather on chemicals, you will have to refer to MSDS, or in short they call it SDS. Okay, anything is same. Okay, what is MSDS? MSDS is Material Safety Data Sheet, and SDS is Safety Data Sheet. Okay, so what are the contents of MSDS? In MSDS we have 9 sections, some MSDS you will have 16 sections. It completely depends on manufacturer and the local guidelines as to how to prepare this MSDS. That is another topic. Okay, but for now we will see the basic contents of an MSDS. In MSDS we have the chemical name, so that chemical's physical name, condition, and who is the manufacturer. See, remember one thing, whenever you are taking one chemical, okay, and don't just assume that, okay, this chemical you are bringing it from X company and you will take MSDS of A company. No, you should not do it in that way. So whoever is manufacturing, for example, X company is manufacturing X chemical, you have to take the MSDS of that X company only. Okay. And second thing is you have that chemical details. Okay, chemical details like IUPAC name, its structure, and the other things. And next you have hazard classifications, hazard and risk details. Okay, in this hazard and risk details there are many number of details that can be provided. Okay, so in this you will see R phrase, okay, which is a risk phrase, and S phrase, which is a safety phrase that you need to follow. Okay, R phrases and S phrases. Okay, so and apart from that they will mention what are the hazards and risks posed in by this particular chemical. Okay, so hazards and risk will be there is one segment for hazard and risk, and then you have one section for fire. Okay, it will give you all the details of LEL, UEL, and what is the precautions that you need to take in case of fire. Okay, if you need to nullify or neutralize the effect of fire, then which chemical you will have to use. So all those details are mentioned in fire precautions. Okay, and next segment is environmental concerns. Okay, the name might change, environmental concerns. If there is a spill, if it so what type of impact it will give on the land surface, if it mixes with any lakes, so what kind of effect it is going to give, is it going to impact any flora or fauna present in the particular water bodies. So these things are discussed in environmental concerns. And next section is your first aid measures. Okay, if a person, the 4 routes of entry, that is inhalation, ingestion, injection, and adsorption. Adsorption means if the chemical falls on the skin, thus it enters through our body through our skin pores. Okay, that is called as adsorption. So upon contact, what should we do? Okay, so these things are given in first aid measures. And next thing is we have all the technical data. Technical data in the sense you have TWA, TLV limits, STL, CL, IDLH. We will discuss about all these things. Okay, and you have LD50, LC50. So these details are mentioned in the MSDS, and here you will have LEL, UEL, boiling point. Okay, melting point, all these details are given in one section. Okay, and then you have storage and handling. Storage and handling, and you have emergency response. I mean, sometimes it is in fire, but in some cases they have they will mention it separately. Okay, emergency handling or response for the particular chemical. Okay, so these details are present in MSDS. So now if we will see the effects of chemicals, we have two effects: acute effect and chronic effect. Acute effect is the effect which is caused upon short-term exposure, whereas chronic is the effect caused upon longer-term exposure. Normally, acute effect can be reversible by treatment or basic first aid or something like that. It can be reversible. These effects can be reversible, but this chronic effect is the effect which is caused upon longer term exposure. That means after years of exposure, it develops into some kind of effect to our human body. So it cannot be reversible. So it can lead to some kind of permanent damage. See, for example, if you take noise, okay, it is not chemical. This is a physical hazard, but still I am just taking an example so that you can understand the difference between acute effect and chronic effect. If you hear a loud bang, okay, you will have small ringing sensation in your ears. This is called as tinnitus. Okay, so this is only, it can be short term. Okay, it can be for short term. Okay, after few hours, things can be back to normal. But in case of loud bang, if the bang is too loud and if there is any rupture in eardrum, then you can lose hearing. That is again, it cannot be reversed. Okay, but in this example, if it is a loud bang, it is okay. It can be it can take up with just a ringing sensation in ears, and after a small period of time, it can be reversed. But if you are continuously exposed, loud sound of say greater than 120 dB, then there might be permanent damage to hearing. Okay, so this is loss of hearing. So this is a chronic effect, and this is in short term, so it is reversible and it is acute effect. Okay, now the chemicals, how do they impact our body? Okay, so chemicals impact on our body. How do they impact? Where do they impact? So normally our body's chemicals impact on the target organs. Okay, target organs. What are these target organs? they are much more likely that they get affected by that particular chemical. Okay, for example, we have, okay, different type of toxins. Okay, we have neurotoxins, we have nephrotoxins, okay, we have hepatotoxins. Okay, these neurotoxins will affect our central nervous system. Okay, the same we can we even find the same subject in our industrial hygiene. Okay, or you can say industrial hygiene or human anatomy. Okay, the same subject you will find there, and we will discuss that in detail. Okay, and nephrotoxins are the toxins or the chemicals which affect, okay, affect on kidneys, nephrotoxins. Okay, and hepatotoxins are the chemicals which affects your liver. So similarly, different chemicals has different organs, and even in chemicals there are different type of chemicals. Okay, like we have irritants, that means it will only give you an irritation sensation, where it can irritate like itching, or you have eye irritation. Okay, irritation, and you have your respiratory irritation. Okay, so as such irritants, and then you have corrosive, that means it can cause burns. Okay, burns on the body, and it can even cause deep impact as well. Okay, irritants, corrosive, and then we have mutagenic, which can change mutations in DNA. We have carcinogenic, which are cancer causing substances. Okay, and we have asphyxiants. Asphyxiants will cause, it will try to replace oxygen. Okay, so you will feel like you are short of oxygen. Okay, so say there are different types of chemicals. Okay, now we will discuss about TLV, TWA and all. Okay, so first we will discuss about TLV. What is TLV? TLV is threshold limit value. So this is a value which should not be exceeded. Okay, this is a value which should not be exceeded. I mean, the exposure of that particular chemical should not exceed the value of TLV. Okay, so in this TLV we have different type of values, that is TLV, TWA, TLV, STL, TLV, we have CL, IDLH. Okay, we will discuss about these terms now. So what is TWA, TLV? So in short, TLV is the limit, it should not be exceeded, right? So we will, this term we are clear. Okay, TLV is a value which should not be exceeded for that particular chemical. Okay, the exposure of that particular chemical should not exceed the certain value. So now what is TW? TWA is time weighted average. So what is this time weighted average? Time weighted average is a limit or a value, okay, of chemical, okay, which should not be exceeded. exposure of which, okay, sorry, exposure of which should not be exceeded, okay, for 8 hours shift per day or 40 hours per week. Okay. So, for example, we know about H2S. Okay, H2S TWA is say 10 ppm. The standards may change, but I am just taking general standard. Okay, and STL is 15 ppm. That means a person or a worker, okay, can work, okay, with exposure to H2S of 10 ppm continuously for 8 hours a day or 40 hours a week. Okay. If this time duration exceeds, that means if a worker is, okay, if a worker is working for more than this time period, then we say that he is overexposed. Okay, that means if a worker is working like 8.5 hours a day, okay, 8.5 hours a day means how many, we have 5 into 5 is 2.5, so 42.5 hours a week. Okay, if he is exposed to 10 ppm, then he is overexposed. Okay, so this is how we will determine if he is overexposed or underexposed based on the values and working duration. Okay, so this is for one chemical. Okay, how to calculate for multiple chemicals, we will come into calculation part a bit later. Okay, now if we will just look into STL value, that is short term exposure limit. Okay, see, the definition is same, but the time duration for STL, this is for TWA. Okay, this is for TWA. So the time duration for STL is just 15 minutes in a day. That's all. So if any person, okay, see, the difference in definition is very clear, that the time period is just 15 minutes in a day. For example, H2S is 15 ppm. So a worker, if exposed to 15 ppm of H2S in a day, 15 ppm of H2S in a day for 15 minutes. Okay. So what he should do for remaining day? He should not be exposed to H2S. Okay, so that is how you have to differentiate between TWA and STL. Ceiling limit. Okay, next value is ceiling limit. Ceiling limit is a limit which should not be reached. Ceiling limit is a limit which should not be reached at any cost. Okay, so this is the maximum amount it can create adverse effects immediately. Okay, and IDLH is immediately dangerous to life and health. Okay, this limit can cause effect on human body if exposed for like say 10 minutes or 20 minutes. It can create some acute effect in human beings. So this is some of the terminology that we will discuss in this class. In next class we will see how we will calculate TWA, STL, CL and TWA and STL for single chemical, multiple chemicals. If it is fluids, then what we should do. So all these things we will calculate in next class. Okay, in next class we will even discuss about LEL and UEL and those calculations.